All right, here we are. Welcome everyone to the Designer Show, number 93, I think, or something like that. Um, Here we are in the new year, 2023. So, how you guys doing? John and Renee are on the call with us. How's your new year starting out so far? Renee, you want to
You
start?
already know. You told me not to burden everybody with it.
Quick overview.
Yeah, I've been having flooding
Yes.
in
Oh, wow.
California. We got a big storm moving through.
California, if you guys have heard about the rain, Renee's getting some of it. So,
Yeah.
so
Usually don't like to have it in my house, but here we are.
yeah, understood. Cool, John. You're getting ready to hit the road.
Getting ready to hit the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're on. How long are you going to be out of town on this trek?
No, not for sure. At least into March.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So you're heading
Got
down
some-
south. You'll be meeting up with us, and then we'll head over to the summit and hang out there for a while, and then you're off to visit more of your kids. So
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Sounds like a great trip. All right. Well, looking forward to seeing you guys. So I know it's coming up soon. A couple of housekeeping things I want to talk about real quick. Those of you that own Chief Architect, which I'm assuming everybody on this call owns Chief Architect. Hopefully you will. Didn't say anybody's listed up here. What's going on?
I just got a text from Chad. He says it looks like the chat is disabled. There's somebody got in now.
There's only one viewer too. That's interesting.
That's strange. What is going on? Is there a big delay here or something? I'm not sure. Well, anyway, whoever's here, welcome. And if you're watching this and recording, welcome as well. So we'll just keep moving forward. Hopefully it's not a year techno glitch coming up here. Let's just move on. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. And those of you may or may not have heard about this, but Chief is going to a new pricing model for their software. So if you, for whatever licenses you own of Chief Architect, make sure you keep your software and support agreement current, and you'll stay locked in at that price. If you've got older versions that you haven't upgraded yet, you might want to do that before the 9th, before the 10th, because after the 10th, Chief is going to be charging $200 a month or $2,000 a year for you to maintain your license.
No, we did have technical difficulties.
Hey, Dan, can you send out a new email text with the proper show number on it? You sent it out with show number 92 on it. Did that take a while to do that?
No. Give me a second.
You're still sharing your screen too, by the way.
I'll stop doing that.
Everybody knows your password now. It's asterisk, asterisk,
Mhm.
asterisk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll go that way. Why don't you guys talk about something more?
Is your password Dan the Man? Come on, don't lie.
Dan the Man 92.
I'll definitely say that is not what it is. Okay. Let me do this real quick.
Renee, why don't you, there was a question on Facebook the other day about, what was it about? Shoot, now I lost it. You commented on it. Somebody said we should do it on the Designer Show.
Oh, dang it. I've done like 10 of those.
Yeah.
I feel like. Don't remember what it is. I got one about creating a chain link. I got one about creating an arched cabinet door.
It wasn't a symbol. It wasn't a symbol. Shoot, I can't remember what it was now. Well, if whoever put it on there is on the call, if you can get it in the text.
I'll share a screen and I'll do something while we're waiting. Let's see. Present
tab. People are also commenting that they went to Dan's YouTube channel to access it and they got in there. So
yeah, that works fine.
Method. Okay. So I got one here. Someone requested something about a chain link, but I'll explain how to do it and why it's done this way. The reason we never see any chain links in any of the extra content is because they just produce too many faces, too many face counts. And so you're very familiar with symbol creation. You might know that we've got symbol smoothing is built into the software. So I'm going to just explain what that is real quick, because that's a good one. We don't talk about this kind of stuff too often. So I've got a symbol here. I'm going to open it up in its symbol class, and we're going to see in the in the 3D panel, the first panel, the number of faces here. We also see a smoothing angle, which is 45 degrees. Now, what that means is any faceted angle that is less than 45 degrees is going to get smoothed over with some kind of magic coming from Chief. So even though this looks like a faceted chain link, when we go to render it out, it's actually going to look pretty smooth. So taking advantage of that, we can lower the face count on any particular object, knowing that if you set the smoothing angle accordingly, you might be able to smooth out some of these faceted angles. So if I change this to something like 350 degrees, what we're going to end up getting is a pretty ill-defined. Actually, let me see. I'm going to bring up a refrigerator. This is a good example of it. Anytime you see a refrigerator and it either looks too smooth or it looks too sharp, you can kind of edit it and then re-add it to your library. So place this refrigerator, open up its symbol class, and then we can see here, if we switch to a vector view, we've got a little bit of soft edges here along all the edges of the doors. If you can see that on the screen, let me try to blow this up real big. And if I change the smoothing angle to something like a 0, watch what happens. We all of a sudden get all these vector lines back in place. Whereas if we change it to something like 340 degrees, well, it should be updating on the fly, but it doesn't seem to be.
So you're just changing the surface reflection area, right? Another way to say that.
I mean, Chief calls it smoothing angle,
the angle of it.
It's just going to automatically smooth over any facets. I'm not sure why this isn't doing it on the fly. That might have something to do with the newest update. But to bring this full circle about the chain link is I want to duplicate this about itself across a polyline, right? And so you would typically kind of approach this by creating a molding polyline. But the problem with the molding polyline, and we'll just show it real quick. I'm going to draw out a molding polyline. Oh, and let's take Dan's trick, which I learned from, I think, Designer Show number 92, which is before we use the trim tool, if we select our item in our library and then use a molding line, it will apply that item, which I love that trick. I didn't know about that one. So now this has that chain link attached to it. And let me just make a little fillet here. And we'll bring up a camera. So when we look at this, which just disappeared because it's actually in the floor, let me just delete a wall and we'll get sight of it somehow. Or not at all. Doesn't exist.
You got the layer open.
Right, moldings. You would think moldings would be turned on.
Below the floor.
Oh, maybe your trick didn't work for me.
I wasn't listening. What would you do? What were you doing?
Oh yeah, it didn't work. Interesting. Okay. Architect problems early in the morning.
All right. Well, anyway, I fixed my error, so my apologies to everybody. Yeah, I forgot to update a link on a page. Details, I tell you.
Details.
Yes. It's a new year. We'll forgive you right away. Don't even have to ask for it.
That's my one mistake for the year that I'm allowed to have. Okay.
You used it up early, Dan. I don't know what you're going to do from here on out.
So I'm just going to finish this thought real quick.
Yes.
When we're applying a molding that we want to repeat, but we put it on, we've got a fillet in this case, you're going to see here that Chief Architect automatically segments that molding wherever it needs to create that fillet. And I mean, that's about the number of facets per that that arc, right? So it's
Yeah.
breaking this chain up. So the chain doesn't look realistic because of that. So the only way to really do a chain in Chief Architect is you actually have to come in here and do a distributed path, which is in our build menu, distributed objects, and we can do a spline distribution path. And then across this path, I'm going to put my chain link, and then I have to set the distance between the chains.
Yeah.
Does it rotate the symbol too as it goes around that line?
It does. It does. Okay. It follows that path. So I drop this in. I'm going to set my maximum distance to 3 inches. And then when we go look at this in 3D, that's a perfect chain link.
Very nice.
And the only other thing, you can't do a distributed path in an elevation. So I might want this to be a swag for a light or something like that. So I have to then convert this to a symbol and then
flip it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all close. Right, so close yet.
That's
so
it
far.
for this.
All right, here's another quick one. One of you guys can tackle.
Yeah.
Can you please show how to link a section view call out back to the plan view call out?
I can do that one too. Let's see. So let's just do. They want a section view call out back to a plan view.
Yeah, and I don't know if are they using a camera?
Well, that's
what way you normally do it, but
section view would be a call out on the layout page.
Do they want to? Okay, so here's my first take on that: is they want to call out in their section view.
Can you please show how to link a section view call out back to the plan view?
That would be the camera on your floor plan.
Right.
Well, I'll show this because this is easy enough. One is we can say I want a linked view call out label, so I can do that here. I can also, in object specific macros, I can say linked view layout page label in case we're sending this to layout as well. And then I only need to link this to whatever I want it to be linked to, which is in our edit toolbar. We're going to be, which is usually at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to link view and then pick whatever view I needed to get to, which in this case, I'm going to be in a plan view, floor plan. So now that is linked to a view. I'm going to draw one of my little bubble arrows here. And then if I send this to a layout, which I don't know, I have my hotkeys are messed up here, but if I send this to a layout, it'll automatically populate that this camera label according to what we set.
Okay, now he's doing it with a camera. Do you want to go through that quick?
He's doing it with, explain it more.
A camera, using a camera to the call out from the camera, using the call out label on the camera, linking it back to the plan.
A camera as in a full camera?
Label. It's a label thing for the camera. Do a section camera.
Oh, a section camera. We've got a section camera. Okay.
You need to be in the plan and grab that camera.
Yeah.
And open it.
Okay.
And go down to the label. And use call out. I can't see your screen. It's so small because everything else I've got up here.
Use call out. Oh, you're talking about in layout itself?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's right. Yeah. Use it in the,
we want the call out on the layout to always have the right page number.
Right.
Okay, so in this case, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to get into our, let's see, link view label, use call out, right? And we don't have any great way of introducing macros that follow user created call outs on the plan side, but this one is pretty simple. As we would just use the referenced views call out label.
So
and in case this is an unlinked plan, so it's not going to find it, but that's what it would be called.
So you're not using the label for the section view.
You are. So whatever the reference. So if we went into our project browser, so all right. So pull this full circle. I'm in a section view here. I want to send this. Let's see if my hotkeys work. Oh, they do. Great. I'm going to send this to a view. Now that camera already has a label attached to it. Okay, so now I only need to specify that. So come in here, use callout, edit, in the callout label, reference view, callout label. There you go, S1.
Right.
Now go back to you need to have that plan in your layout too, and then show how it relates the page number back to that viewport.
Oh, and you want to have the page number as well.
Yeah.
On the plan, not on the
okay,
section.
on the plan. So we're back in plan. We're in the cross section for this plan, and you could do this from the project browser. Might even be easier.
No.
What's that?
The viewport for the plan on the layout is on page 1, and link that viewport for your section back to that.
Well, this is automatic. This is going to show A3. That's just standard out of the box stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to show A3 there, and you can always make it show A3 anywhere else that you might like to as well. We can even link this to multiple things and then have it report back that page label from those various things that might be linked to this section view.
So if on your floor plan there, open up the call out. What you want to be sure you always do is make sure that that bottom line, the text below line, is always set to automatic.
Yeah.
Always automatically read the hashtag of that page or the page number in the macro box. Show people where you put the page number.
Well, my layouts are a little crazy, but I'll show you.
Let's take a look at what you got, and then we can show mine.
Mine actually are driven from a little system I built down here, so I can drag this leader.
Why does that not surprise me?
Rename it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So a little bit different, but that would be in your edit your page information.
Yeah.
I just have a macro in mine.
Yeah, the first item.
But the first item here is we're going to say that we've got a suffix, a prefix here that's A, or maybe it's G for your general sheets, or E for your electrical sheets, and then a hyphen and the pound sign. And so long as your subsequent sheets are following this sequence, they're going to automatically number based on that number sign, which is a built-in Ruby script from Chief side.
Renee is known to use
There you go.
Yeah. We overcomplicate things for everybody.
Oh, I was on the right track. He's just trying to link the viewports from your section view back to the callouts on the plan.
Okay.
In the floor plan on your layout.
Wait, what?
I can't.
Okay, so
it's a muscle memory thing for me, so
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
All right.
So you have that view right there.
Yeah.
That has a call out on it, right? What's the number on
does.
it? I can't see it.
S1.
S1.
Let me get in here.
Now
Yeah.
go find out where you're pulling that from off the plan. I assume it's a camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to go back to the plan.
Who put S1 in that label? Did you type that in, or did Chief do that?
No, that was automatic. And I mean, that's set from my defaults as it starts with S's, but and keep in mind, I think it's really easy to come in here into your project browser and find your sections here and name them here. I think it's really easy to manage your project from that.
Absolutely.
So I can edit this view, and I can change this call out to whatever.
So your camera on your plan needs to say S1 on the top of the line and what page it's on in the layout on the bottom of the line.
Yeah, and my cameras are set to automatic on the bottom, so it's automatically going to populate that once we send it to view.
Okay.
The only time you would override that is if for some reason, I don't know why you would do this, but if for some reason you had multiple sheets, you might want to override this and designate those multiple sheets. I'll show you that's a pretty simple process as well. We're going to edit this view from the project browser. I am going to uncheck automatic, which I don't advise, and then I could put comma A4, and this would show that I have this particular camera sent to multiple views for whatever reason you might want to do that. Maybe you've got a match line on this elevation.
Yeah. So now the downside with that, if you relabel your pages, if you add a page, move a page, move the view to a different page, you have to manually go change those.
Yeah, and I have a way more complicated way of doing this automatically so that you don't have to do that, but I don't think we should get into that.
No, we shouldn't.
Okay.
It's already confusing.
We're already losing our minds here.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks, Renee, for picking that up. Sorry, you guys, I had forgot to update the show page where the video shows up. So my bad. I finally realized what I had goofed on. So again, it was my one mistake I'm allowed for the year. So, or for today of this year. All right, let's jump back into a couple of things here. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and we'll try to move through a few things. If you have questions, please type them in, and we'll do our best to answer them. We're going to spin the wheel a little bit. I want to talk about a couple other things besides Chief for just a little bit, but let's do a bunch of Chief stuff too. So we're going to jump around a little bit today. But first of all, I want to start out with talking a little bit about our summit coming up. Where's my screen, man? Here it is. And share my screen. So many of you have heard me discuss the summit coming up. So if you guys are so inclined and you want to come and learn, come on, Dan, hit the right stupid page. I'm really on a roll today.
It's going to be one of those days today.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm on my page here. So I'm trying to get to my browser, which is right here, and to our summit. So actually what I was talking about before, I got distracted to have to update my mistake. Make sure you keep your SSA current, because on January 10th, Chief's going to their new pricing model of $200 a month or $2,000 a year if you don't have a current SSA. So if you let your SSA expire, you will come back and have to pay the new fees, which
and that's next week, right?
That's next week. Yeah, the 10th. That's 4 days. Yeah, that must be probably starting Tuesday, I would guess. What is the 10th? Is that Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. So I better get a mail out to people. So keep your SSA up to date. If you're behind X14, get your SSA up to date. I think I figured it out over 10 years. It's going to cost you an extra $17,000, something like that, from the SSA to their new pricing plan. So don't mess around. Keep your SSA current, as you should, because of all the new features that come out in Chief that make your life easier, make producing better plans better anyway. So, it's a pain in the ass to pay that fee every year, but it's just part of doing business. This is a tool that you use to make a lot of money. Don't put it off. Okay. Our summit is getting close to being, second week is close to being sold out. I've got a few spots left. So if you're in, hit the right link. So if you're interested, go to Chief Experts Academy, hit the learn more at the top of the page, and you can scroll down and read about our summit starting February 12th. And I'll be there with John, Renee, and Robin, and the gang will be here to take good care of you. It's all inclusive. Once you get there, everything's included, except hard liquor. Other than that, all the food, everything that you need will be there. We got a lot of things that we're going to cover. You're going to get to see firsthand the Alienware software that comes with Renee. And we're going to be in a gorgeous place. It's a 24-bedroom house, 20,000 square feet, big training room. We'll be spread out a little bit. First 3 days, John and I will be teaching. We'll go through the process of creating plans. So we're going to cover a lot of details. Renee and Robin will be off. If you want to spend time with them, you can. The last 2 days, we'll all come together, and we're going to cover a whole bunch of different topics. So it's going to be a very immersion. It's called total immersion for a reason, because once you get there, that's all we're going to talk about is Chief Architect in your design business for the whole week. So you're going to come away with a ton of knowledge, a ton of contacts. It's going to be a great networking event. We're going to do some masterminding. We'll talk about business. We'll talk about how much you're charging. Should you charge more? How do you make more? How do you market? You'll pick up a ton of tips. So as you see, week 2 is just about sold out. I've got one room and one bunk available 2 rooms and 1 bunk available. And then on the first week, I think we have 9. So the big difference between the 2 weeks is the first week's going to be more intermediate. And the only thing that means is we'll just go a little slower in our training, the first 3 days of training. That's really going to be the only difference. Okay. You're still, either week, you're going to learn a boatload of information about your business and about Chief Architect. So check it out. Give me a call if you have any questions. My number's listed at the bottom of the page here. This has been a very successful event.
Just wanted to add a little fun note. Anybody that's got a VR headset that's coming to this event, I encourage you to bring it, because outside of the classroom, I'm going to be doing some stuff in VR, show you how to use a few softwares in VR for Chief Architect, and also doing a VR-based mind mapping thing.
And which one are you using, Renee?
I have 2 different ones. I've got the Quest 2 and I've got the Quest Pro. And the Quest Pro is what I've been on lately. That's the newest one. Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
So Dan, people are already anticipating you not sticking to your one mistake a year plan. So just in case you make another mistake this year, how do they get to your YouTube channel?
Just go to YouTube and search for Chief Experts. That'd be the easiest way to get there. Or search for Dan Baumann. I think you'll come up with it as well. Yeah, there we go. At Chief Experts. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I did modify that statement, I said first of the year today. Anyway, all right, you guys, thanks. Let's go spin the wheel, and we'll see what we come up with here. And again, if you have questions, we'll get to those. Let's start by spinning the wheel a little bit. See what we come up with. I've got some topics to talk about with goal setting and sales. We'll see if we come up with any of those, or we come up with the wheel. All right. This we may have covered this one last time. I don't remember. But
we did.
Choice. It's a very simple icon. This will take just a second, but I'll cover it again.
Build all framing.
So build all framing. It's one of the cool new tools that Chief has. Build all framing right here. So Renee, we're gonna have to get you going on this Zoomit tool.
I know. I need to get that one.
Super
What's it
different.
called?
Zoomit. Just Google
Right.
Zoomit. Here, let me bring up a browser real quick. This is good for everybody on this call. If you do presentations with clients, if you go to Zoomit.com, Zoomit, it would be Zoomit. Do that over. Zoomit.exe. EXE is important. It'll be the first one here. Microsoft Learn or Zoomit download. Either of those 2 will work fine. It's a super simple download. It's half a megabyte. It runs in your system tray. All I do when I want to draw is I hit Control-1. That zooms in. Then I click my mouse button and I can draw on the screen. Control draws a box. Alt draws a line. Shift draws a line. Control-Alt draws. Shift Control draws an arrow. Shift-Alt draws one of these draws a circle. I don't remember, but you can change the color by hitting D for blue, R for red, G for green. You hold the control key down, roll your mouse in and out. You can change the line size. If you just want to draw, you hit Control-2 and draw. And again, I can draw bigger fat lines just by rolling my mouse. Super, super simple to use. If you get used to it, it's really a great presentation tool when you're talking to your clients. So highly recommend it.
Then you just hit escape to erase.
Yep, that's all you got to do. So Control, draw, hit escape to erase, and you're back at it. So let me turn it back to red, and there you go. So Zoomit, great little app, and it's free. I mean, you can't beat the price. So it's for Windows only, by the way. Doesn't work on a Mac. There are probably other Zoom tools that you can get for Mac. Okay, the frame all. So if you want to at any given time, you click that frame all button, and guess what it does? It frames your whole plan. So just like that. And used to be we had to open the menu, click build for framing on 1 and 2, and build the roof. And it used to be a whole bunch of steps to do the framing. So anytime you want to add the framing, just click that button. Very cool button. That's Chief doing a good job for us. All right, spin her up again. I didn't add that many icons this time. All right, well, again, another one I think we covered. the create a symbol tool. Anything in Chief can become a symbol. Pretty much anything that you draw. So Renee was just talking about doing the chain link to make it into a symbol, but I mean, anything that you draw that is a 3D object, when you see this icon and you click on that object or objects, you can turn that into a 3D symbol that will be put in your library. You can use it in your plan at any time. Once you make it into a symbol, though, you can't unmake it into a symbol. You can change the size of it, things like that, but you can't open it and edit anything other than the size and the materials. You can flip it up and down in space, rotate it. You do a bunch of things with it, but you can't ungroup it. You know, it's always going to be, it's like a toilet. It's always a toilet. You can't change it back to anything else. So that's the create symbol icon. Really handy. Here's a super duper simple use for that tool. I'll show you real quick. Have you ever done a opening in a wall and you want to have a railing in it? Okay. So real easy way to do that. All right. Let me just go into a camera here. So this is an opening, a balcony overlooking the lower level. All right. So let's make that just a doorway. Okay. But I want to have a railing inside of that. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my floor plan. Oops, wrong view. And go draw a railing the size that I want, like this. Okay, now I've got a railing. I'm going to take and convert that to a symbol because you can't draw a railing inside of another wall. Unless they've changed that. Maybe they have. Let's see. Nope, it actually replaces the door. So I'm going to make that into a symbol.
I'd be curious, if you change that to no locate, does it work?
Let's find out. I can't imagine. Because that just turns the dimension.
Oh no, it's already no. Okay.
Yeah, that's a railing. They come up by default that way. So make that into a symbol. Show advanced options. There it is. So if I look at it in 3D, come on, what's going on here?
Oh, change your view to your render view there. The first icon.
Oh, thank you. Jeez. Okay, there it is. So there's that railing. Now I can pop that back in my plan. Oh, there it is. So now I can pop that back in my plan, just slide that in the doorway, and now I've got a railing in the doorway. So that's a really good use for creating a symbol.
That's if you want it to be a cased opening, right?
Do another one.
Doesn't matter whether it's cased opening or a wrapped opening. Doesn't matter.
So why couldn't you do it with just a railing with a beam above it?
Because you wouldn't have anything up here then.
If you put a beam up there, you would.
You'd either have to fill that in with something else because you're going to take that whole wall. Well, actually, could we? No, I don't think that would work either. We can't make a railing with a beam above it. Or
that's a good dog fence. There you go.
Huh?
He said it's a good dog fence. You could even put a door in it.
You could.
If you turn that into a symbol, it won't keep the material list either, will it?
I don't think
you can modify it.
It would just say you have this one symbol in there.
It'll show up as an item on your list.
How many balusters and stuff, right?
It won't show up as balusters and railing and
so the trick to doing that would be to draw another railing somewhere else on the plan.
Or you could just open up the component. You can open up the components of that symbol and change it to whatever you want. You can add framing here. You can add all kinds of stuff here. You can override anything. So you can make it report correctly. Kind of a pain in the butt, but
it's an option. We're closer to having a all-inclusive option there. So, but as far as getting your 3D model correct, that's going to be a good way to do that. All right. Did we have someone?
There was a question about trusses. Can you draw a hip roof and put a truss package on that?
Can I use X15?
No.
Damn.
Quiet.
Soon, very soon.
That would be a button. You didn't hear that.
Let's not even talk about it. This is going to be obsolete in
Well, you still
Almost
got to
3
know how to
weeks.
He's working on the plan right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going
All
to
right.
build a truss. You're going to go to the truss tool right here. Get your roof in place. Get it the right heights. All that good stuff. You know, let me get this. Remember that the truss is going to fit the shape of the roof. Oops, wrong key.
So here's the question. He was trying to generate a hip roof, and he ended up the long odd trusses that wouldn't. So anyway, I think what he missed was the first truss there, and then drawing the other ones the other direction.
Yeah. So you know typically you have 2 trusses to start out. So I would click this first one after I draw it, hit copy, point to point, move this to there. Chief will adjust the truss automatically. Then you just go ahead and use the truss and just click on here and click here. Fill in your trusses just by drawing them in. Use the multiple copy tool. Get them in place. Oops, that's not right. Click that one again. And we're going to go 24 in center on our trusses.
That was a funny one. You had 19 something.
Yeah, that'd be your smaller dimension.
19.2.
Yeah. And then you keep, if you keep copying, it's going to probably not put the small one in. I think the automatic tool does better now, but I've always had a hard time getting that to work. So then I would just simply reflect around the ridge here to get the truss on the other side. What I do after I draw my trusses is then I just build a manual roof, and Chief will fill in everywhere else with lumber. So Chief puts boards there. I call it good. Okay,
That's a good trick.
Yeah, it works fine. And I decided it's not worth fighting with those little bitty trusses anymore. In fact, if you look at this, it wouldn't be a truss anyway. So it does a nice job. Yeah, it does a nice job when you do it like this. And again, in X15, we've got some surprises coming. So I think you guys will be happy with that. Anybody here?
Any idea why the vertical plane and the tray ceiling disappears in X14? I haven't ever had that happen. I just wondered if you guys have.
The vertical plane and a tray ceiling. Not following.
Richard, are you using the tray ceiling tool?
Use the tray ceiling tool.
So when you click on a room, you're going to use this tool right here.
The comment. Yeah, there you go.
Make tray ceiling. Okay. And once that opens, you can make some changes here. So I'll recess that in the ceiling. It's going to be vertical. It's going to be 12 inches. And let's see, what else do I need to check? Anything else? Let's just start with that. And Chief followed the bay there. But it does a nice job. See how there's your vertical plane.
Is there a different material for that vertical plane that he might have turned off or something?
What is it using? It's using a tray ceiling specification.
What does it?
Line style is ceiling, so it's a ceiling plane. It's just a vertical ceiling plane.
But in materials, is there a different material option for that might be off in his defaults? Doesn't look like it.
Not that I could think of. I mean,
the side one right there. Does that say side? I can't see it. The top material there.
This one, sides and top.
Yeah, so
they're the same.
Check your material there to make sure that there's a material in there that's visible.
Make sure the material's not air gap, first of all.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I've had that happen before. Turn it to vector. Go to vector mode, then it won't matter which material you have. You should see it then. Mm-hmm. So anyway, try that. Let us know how that works. But yeah, the tray ceiling tool works really well. I'm very pleased with that tray ceiling.
Yeah, me too.
And if you want to create a tray inside of a tray, after you've created your tray, click on the tray and then do it again. Here's that icon being presented again. I put a tray inside of that tray. So now I've got it double. It's going up twice. So whoever came up with that.
They allow us to do a pitch on a tray ceiling?
Yes, you could do that anytime. So let's do this one again, but this time I'll go here and I'll do 8 and 12. if that works. Notice how I typed 8 and 12. I guess 8 inches works too. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got the angled.
That's getting into a crazy system. Oh, but it won't do like a shed roof pitch to one side. It's a uniform pitch across the whole polyline. Gotcha.
Yeah, you could go in and you're talking about where this whole middle might just be vaulted up.
Yeah, so then you
Yeah.
got to do a ceiling plane inside of the tray.
Right.
If you want to continue that or do another tray, you could always just go in here to this tray and where can I click on it?
Nope, you're not allowed.
Come on. Boy. Huh. On that one.
Okay.
Beats me. Oh well.
You can't just.
I would, yeah. That is weird. Why is that? Can I click on it in the 3D? No, I can click on it as the whole. So, okay. Well, I guess that makes some sense. It's kind of like the auto roof tool. It's kind of like the returns in the auto roof tool. It puts them on, but you can't edit them other than changing something in the dialog. So I could go in here and change something in the dialog. And then but that's as much as I can do. If I want to have that vault all the way up, I'd have to do that manually. Okay. And we can't explode that, can we? Don't see an explode. What's this? Explode tray ceiling. Aha. There we go. So now I can just take and bring that all the way up.
Oh, that's too cool.
Huh? There's always
That's
a
too
way.
cool.
You said I couldn't do it. Think of the logic. There we go. So then, of course, just straighten that out and you've got your vaulted ceiling. So explode your tray. Cool.
Can you open up that line like you can with a roof and change what it's supposed to do there
I would
on
think
the
so.
baseline? On the
Yeah.
baseline of it?
On the baseline of it.
Yeah, the baseline of that right there.
What would I want to do with that baseline? Can't
Change it
open the
into a
baseline.
gable. Change it into a gable or something.
No, I can't do anything. There's no open dialogue for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a question that, can you think of which show we talked about this on? Was
What?
it within the last six, how to create framing for only an addition?
I got one
For
for this.
example.
That's well within my usual workflow.
Okay.
I've got an addition here represented by these purple walls.
Hold on. Show your screen.
Am I not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
Hold on, I'm still showing my screen.
No, Renee's showing his screen.
Oh, there it is now. Okay, good.
So I'm just going to select all the walls of my addition. In this case, I selected a call out as well. So I'm going to use select marquee similar or a restrictive selection, just select my walls. And then in my edit toolbar, which is usually bottom of the screen, I'm going to build framing for selected objects only. My layer sets don't show that framing, but there we go. Now I've got framing just for my addition only. So if I pulled a perspective framing overview, which I have my surface area on, but we'd see here if I use the delete surface tool, we're going to get to framing, whereas we don't have framing over here. So, and then I could highlight all that framing and put it on its own layer so that it was new versus existing.
Want to see how I do it?
Sure.
Okay, I'll show you. Same idea, but I do one extra step. I take my walls and I frame them in just like Renee showed. What did I just do? Hit framing. First I would switch to my framing plan. Then I would, I've got framing. Let's get rid of all the framing. Edit, delete objects. Here, let's do this. Let me just start over. Shit. I just deleted something I didn't want to delete. Way to go, Dan. Moving too fast. Okay, switch to my framing plan.
Dig that out of the autosaves, the archives.
Oh yeah, I could probably do that. Well, I don't think I saved it though. Does it work when we don't save our plan first?
I don't think so.
Are you about to make those invisible? I would have thought that was kind of a...
No, what you do is you put your walls on a different layer. So I always have a walls called normal new.
Yeah.
So those are my new walls. And then I'll do the same to the roof. I'll take my roof, I'll put those on a layer called line style, roof planes new. And then I'll go ahead and frame my roof. So now when I want to bring up my 3D view, I open up a 3D view. And actually, let's go up here. And then I just switch to my other 3D view that says as built versus new. And now I can see just the framing on the addition, because the framing is separate from the walls. The framing's on a different layer than the walls. So when you turn the walls off, the framing still shows. Same with the roof. So that's how I like it. And I could do the same with the floor too. I could frame that floor. And so you just click on the room and you can frame just that room. Where's that
over to the left, a couple.
This one.
There you go.
And yes, or whatever. And we'll see, did it put in decent framing?
Your floor framing's probably turned off because
No, I don't have a foundation, so I can't show.
I can't.
I need a foundation to do the framing, but you get the idea. So it's working. The only thing I can't do automatically is the ceiling framing. That I still have to draw in manually or frame the plan and then delete what I don't want. So hopefully they'll add a frame ceiling button one of these days. That would help a little bit. Not a big deal, but all those little things.
You want to pin this one too? Actually, I could probably do this real quick too. How do you create framing for? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. How did you select only the walls? We have two different methods for this, which is we have a tool restrictive selection, which means if I choose my exterior wall tool, once that tool is enabled, if I hold down my shift key and draw a marquee box, it's only going to be selecting restrictive to the tool that is enabled right now. The other method for this is if I select a wall and in my edit toolbar, I use the marquee select similar tool. Now I get a second subsequent edit menu. I can either draw a marquee over the walls that I want to select, or I can select all similar, which would be selecting all walls. Of course, we can also do stuff like the match properties or do restrictive based on a schedule.
Right.
So a number of different ways you can select only particular objects, and that just there's some nuances there when we get into electrical symbols, but maybe we'll get into that another show.
Yeah, I do like the shift select. That's the one I've gotten used to over the years, and I use that all the time. It's just almost all of the icons on the toolbar. If you highlight them first, so if I want to select my roofs, I'll highlight the roof icon, hold my shift key down, draw a marquee, and I just get the roofs.
Yeah,
done.
And
so
then to answer raw one about cabinets, we still have tool restrictive based on base cabinet, wall cabinet, but the full height cabinet will select all cabinets, but cabinets only. Spin the wheel now.
Mm-hmm. Time to spin the wheel.
Okay. Gosh, look what time it is already. I'm too much fun.
Yeah, we burned a lot of time on technical problems.
That's 15 minutes shot right there. We'll just run a little longer today. All right. I think I probably did that one too. That's a simple Dipple one.
You're just stuck on show 92.
I guess so. I thought I got rid of all of those icons. So
yeah, Dan the Man 92.
Anyway, any line in Chief Architect, and again, everything starts with a line. But if you draw a line and you want a curved arrow, that was what was that one? That was the curved. It had a curved arrow on it. I mean, you just
spin the wheel you just did.
Right. Yeah, what was that? Hang on.
Oh, it's in the arc line tools in your CAD section there. And then
there it is.
Arrow. No, the arc one next to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, never use that. Yeah, there it is.
Don't need to.
No. Again, they could probably get rid of this and wouldn't bother them, wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit.
Do that arc arrow once. Can you? Does it go from one point to another point, or?
It'll lock in that first point, and then you just
So
kind of move it to wherever you want to go.
So you do kind of okay.
Yeah. So same with drawing any arc. Same with drawing walls. It starts at the point that you start. It locks in that first point, and then you drag it out, and it works. I find it much easier just to draw straight items, and then
Yeah, but that's a two mouse click thing doing that way.
Well, true, but if I had a keystroke set up, I could do it in no time.
Yeah.
But the thing about drawing it straight like that, if you're doing a curved roof, if you're doing a curved wall or something, it keeps the two ends locked in place.
Yeah, I definitely like if I'm trying to do something specific. I like it going
like
the way
this.
we're
It
talking
keeps
about.
them locked in place, so that works well. So the other way, without having to click the making an arc button, is to just simply draw a line. Draw a line and just grab it with your right mouse button and bend it. If you hold your control key down, holding your right mouse button down, you can bend it freely.
Right.
If you hit the 3 key, you can break it, bend it the other way. It's a really simple way to make
It's
those kind of
definitely
arrows.
Prettier doing it that way versus the other way.
It is. Takes just a second longer. Not a super duper big deal, but
yeah,
that's all about. Something goofy going on. Not gonna worry about it. Okay, back to our wheel. I think I turned off all those other ones. Come on, I want to get to one of my numbers. Give me a number.
Oh, you have a new setup for that?
I do.
We did this last time too.
Yeah, I know.
We did do this last time.
What was this one again? That was the
because it's something I'd never see this icon.
This
is a upload to 3D viewer or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. We'll hide that one. All right, we're gonna spin it up again. I want to talk about business planning a little bit.
You're not gonna get it.
That looks like it's a linked call out button.
No,
it's not.
It's not. Dang
Come
it.
on, guys. What is it?
I don't remember this one. I see it though.
I tell you where it's from.
Oh, it's show all do all views.
No.
Automatic camera elevations or something.
No. It's from a layout page.
No, I'm stumped on that one.
It's from a layout page. Hold it. No, that's not it. It's
a call out. It's a link call out thing.
Reference plan file. Reference plan files. Oh, we covered that one last time.
It's not reference plan file.
I'm the one that knew what this was last time.
Yeah,
too,
you did.
Forget it.
Right. No, we're gonna cancel that one too. Boy, I'm really just on a roll today.
Is that right, Renee? It's for linking callouts, right?
I can't remember what it is right now.
Yes, it is. It's an icon. Reference plan files. I don't remember. We're not going to do that one. All right. I'm going to spin one more. If I don't get a number, I'm just going to pick out a number. We're not going to get that. Okay. This is kind of a silly one that we don't really need to cover, but I'll cover it anyway. It has to do with your layout. It's right there. Recenter layout box contents. So if you've moved your contents of the view in your layout box. So Chief allows you, and I'll just cover this icon right now, even though it's on the toolbar. These icons right here, they control your 3D views in a box, and your floor plans too, actually. So with this magnifying one, I can take and pan that view inside of my box. See how I can do that? And then this one would recenter the view in the box, and this one would fit the view in the box, although something's a little goofy there. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I think we can do that with all of our views, floor plans, and cross sections and everything. So if I click on a view, and hit this, I can pan that view on the page without moving the box. That the viewport, I can pan the view around inside of the viewport. So I'm not actually moving the viewport. I'm not moving the box that is that view. So here's the whole box that is that view. So anyway, so it just gives you a little bit more flexibility on how you can move things around on your plan. Let's try this and let's see if the centering tool works. Okay. For this one, yeah. See, I've got that out there, so that's what it's doing there. And then fill the screen. Yeah.
Try sending that a different way, Dan. Go send that again, but this time, just get it where you want to see it, and then do the current screen instead of the whole plan.
Oh, Okay. Let's send a
So get that.
lamp.
So that's what you want right there. Probably is what you want to show, and do current screen instead of.
Okay.
And then go
send it to page 11.
Most. We should actually link it to that.
Oops.
Anyway, I think that would probably.
So now if I move it around,
And then
it's still
recenter
got
it.
all that other stuff there.
Yeah, but recenter it now and see what happens.
Let's see if it remembers that. It did.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that. So there you go. So they did think about that a little bit. That's cool. All right. We're going to hide the choice. All right. And because we're almost out of time, I'm not going to spin the wheel this time. All right.
Okay, I know what that icon was. I remember it. It's reference plan file. So if you reference an as-built, then you can use the reference plan file tool to list any linked plans.
Okay.
So you were right, John.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it was. So you
it's
can
not.
change.
I wasn't exactly right. I'll fess up. I was thinking of something a little different, but
yeah. So it changes what's referenced in your plan. So that one right there. So all right. Well, let's just jump over here a little bit. I want to go back in the chief. We'll spend the last few minutes talking about some things. If you guys got any questions, continue to type them in. We'll run a little bit long here today. Here's what my house looked like yesterday.
Wow. Check that out.
About 12 to 14 inches of snow, and it was about 31 degrees. So the snow was kind of wettish. So it stuck to everything. Just gorgeous, just beautiful. And so the winter wonderland, I guess you could call that.
Sweatshirt.
And then people always say, winter wonderland. You wonder why you live where there's winter. But it has some nice advantages. It is pretty. All right. I had some things I wanted to talk about here a little bit. Setting sales goals, income goals. First thing I would like to do to make a point, though, if you guys have things that you do when you set goals for the new year or throughout the year, send it to me or put it in the text box here. But if you don't do anything else, get out a tablet and start writing some things down. I think this is easy to skip. But the act of writing it down or typing it onto your computer kind of cements that goal a little bit more. I do that all the time. Whenever I want things, I put them on my to-do list or I put them on a list I have somewhere. But things that are more top of mind, especially for my business, I'll put those on a sheet that I have specifically for my business. So it really works. How about you guys? Do you guys set sales goals, income goals?
Yep. $1 million.
Well, it's a goal, man.
It is a goal.
All you got to do is work it backwards to figure out how you can get it. So, but a super duper simple thing to do is, open up a spreadsheet and, you want $1 million. Well, let's be a little more. How about 100,000? Okay, so you want to earn $100,000. How do you get to $100,000? An average person can work. What
75 hours a week.
2,080 hours is what a typical.
That's 40 hour.
Week. With a couple weeks off and paid holidays and all that kind of stuff. That's an employee. But let's just say, if you're self-employed, you're not going to do that because that becomes how many hours you work that you get paid for. If you charge by the hour, let's just go by charge by the hour. So if you let's say you can work half of those. So if you can work 1,000 hours a year and you charge, $75 an hour, simple formula, equal sum of this times this, and, and there's your rate. So either you've got to work more hours or raise your what you charge to make that goal there. simple. I mean, it's really simple. And having it like this gives you food for thought. If I could charge $100 an hour and still charge that, done. I just met my goal. So that's, in its simplest sense. I know life isn't really that easy, especially if you have employees, and things like that in your business, but it's just something to think about. And, if you have employees, then you have to, what are they going to make a year? And then what do you have to sell them for to help them make their payroll, plus all your added expenses for that? That adds a whole level of complication to it that, you just got to work at that. So, but write it down. Whatever you do, write it down. And if $1 million is your goal, write it down. Figure out how you can get it. This is kind of interesting too, because we think about goals, and so often we think about the dollars that go into our goals, but really this is kind of important too, the life balance. So one of the things that I like to remind myself of every now and then is, what are those other things? Do I always do them? Well, probably not, but at least I'm aware of them. So this is really simple. I don't have any super duper answers for anybody, but go out and just Google life balance of life, or something like that. You'll come up with some pretty cool things. I like this one right here, this little circle right here, which, speaking of wheels, you guys got a little video attached to this. It's just kind of nice little 5-minute video. Talks about this. Just rate yourself from 0 to 10 on where you are in these different areas. And if those areas become important to you, focus on. If you're low and you want to do more of that, that gives you a little incentive to focus more on those things. But this has always been kind of something that I've looked at, and do I do really well at it? No, I do okay at some things and better at others. And some years I do better at this and better at that, but at least I'm aware of it. So just gives you something to focus on. So keep that balance as best you can. So again, just Google life balance or life balance goal setting, something like that. There's a lot of people have come up with really good ideas out there, so take advantage of them. Let's go talk about a couple quick more. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, Renee, keeping a clean inbox. You had some tips on
that. I'd like to take a minute and demonstrate some of
that. If you have a inbox that's got 2,000 unanswered emails, you might want to.
Okay. Let me show mine. Sure. I follow something called Zero Inbox. You can just Google that term, and you're going to find a lot of YouTube videos on that. And then I have, my Space Mouse Wireless Pro and a regular Space Mouse, and I program it so that whenever I'm in my Chrome browser, it brings up radial menus. And because of that, this is going to be faster for me than it is for other people. But you can enable labels if you're using Gmail as an email client. And with labels enabled, you can do things where you're just setting up hotkeys to quickly get through your inbox. And one of the things I like to do is I have a label called follow up, which means I'm going to follow up with this email. So I do a preliminary sort, and my sort is going to be that I'm putting things that I need to respond to back into follow up. And then I'm, anything that I don't need to respond to, I'm going to be archiving. That's simple enough. And as I get through all of this inbox, then I finally go into my follow-up section, and I actually go and read through this and write responses. And very quickly, I get to only an inbox of 4 unread messages. You can see here, I've only got about 20 more left where I need to follow up with some of these clients, and some of these client items are things I don't need to be looking at. So really efficient way for me to get through this and get to a zero inbox, and to the point where I'm ready to go start writing email responses. So that's zero inbox. That's also, if you're using Gmail, you can set it to default, and you're going to get automatic filtering for promotions, social, and updates. Like Chief Architect Beta gave me an update. And And you can always move things that might be filtering to a social tab back into your primary inbox as a rule. And then we can get even more advanced from there. But with this system, I've gone down to almost never having anything in my inbox. I clear it every day, and it's kind of harmless. Doesn't really bother me at all like it used to.
Cool. That's tough to achieve. I'm close to that. I have a half dozen emails, personal versus business versus different things, and 3 of those I keep 0, and the other 3 20 to 100 things that I need to tend to. And it's like, even that's tough. But I have some friends that I looked at his email one day. It's like 3,500 unanswered emails. It's like, ooh. Anyway,
Yeah.
And most of them are just junk. I mean, they're garbage. So that brings up another thing. Okay, let's eliminate that distraction. Let's clear the clutter, the physical, digital, mental. So every day opt out of some list somewhere. I know some of these, I've finally been working hard with my junk email settings. I use Outlook. So all my garbage goes to the junk folder now, or at least a big portion of it. I was getting, 6 to 10. We do estimating emails every day, driving me absolutely nuts. And none of them have any place where you can unsubscribe. I've tried reporting them to spam and all that stuff. Now I just say anything with the word estimating, and it goes in my junk folder. And that's how.
That's where that email went that I sent you the other day.
Well, I do look it over. So if you sent me one, I would have seen it before I hit the clear and delete. I do run through the list quickly, but at least they're not part of my main email. So, but yeah. So if you wanted an estimate from me, anyway, anything you can do that. A little thing that I do, and I don't do it as well as I should, but you know how when you're working on something and then you go look for something and then all of a sudden you're distracted and want to go look at this thing and then that thing and then that thing?
Yeah, what do you do about that? I have
What-
to stay away from my Chrome and
Yeah.
my email and stuff.
Well, sometimes what I do is I always have a notebook in front of me, and I'm always, making scribble notes on it. Okay. So every time I'm on a call with someone, I'll scribble some notes down, who they are. So it's just nothing real organized or anything. It's just a notebook. But if I'm working on something, I need to really focus on it, and I kind of get distracted. I want to go look at something else. I'll write it down in my notebook. And then if I get distracted, I'll write it down again. Because what will happen is that it's something I know I want to look at, but I really shouldn't look at it now. So if I write it down, I can then forget about it for now and then come back to it later. So that helps me sometimes. Other times I'm down the rabbit hole. Sorry, Renee. But yeah, I get it. I'm human too, so we all are. So it's hard to keep those distractions at bay. I like this one though, Eat the Frog. Maybe you've heard of that, maybe not. Just do the tough things first. Do the unpleasant things first. We all have those things. Where was that one? So if you Google Eat the Frog.
Eat the Frog. Oh, look, I got a shout out. Ha. Nice. I like hearing that. That's awesome.
Oh, cool. Eat the Frog. And if we go to all, there was productivity methods. And basically it just says, if you have any of those things, identify the frog, eat it, repeat every day. Just do the tough things first. If you got something you really don't want to do, you got to make that call to somebody, or you got to deal with a client, or, get it over with. And the rest of your day will go a little easier. Again, that's always easier said than done too. All right, let me cover one last thing. Focus on the things you have more control over. Double down on things you do well. And I think that's really important too. But again, because it's so easy to be distracted, just remember that, what you really do well and what you're good at, focus more on that.
When I draft for other clients that are also drafters, I tell them my sweet spots. I know what I'm most efficient at, where they'll get, value out of it.
Same with me. Yeah, I'm a much better remodeler designer than I am a new home remodeler or new home planner. I do both, but I much prefer to do remodeling because it's my background. And other people will say the opposite, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So find your sweet spot and stick with it. Say yes to less, or say no more often. So again, another hard thing to do. John, you've been really great. People call me and need help on plans, and I call John.
That's because I don't know how to say no.
Yeah, but you got people that can help, and
I do.
So you've been doing a great job, and that's been awesome. Because I can't help everybody I want to, and yeah, it's not. It makes a disservice to everybody if I say yes too much. So, and that's another hard one to do because we all want to help people. We want to do, be nice and do good. So, and then keep a journal. I used to do this a lot. I haven't done it so much lately. But I'd go at lunch and I'd take my journal and I'd just write what's on my mind, get it out of my brain, down on paper. And I could either stop thinking about it or just, come back to it later and look at what my notes were. So,
I like that.
It's kind of fun. It's
change all passwords to Dan the Man 92.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, what would Renee's password be?
Here's a good goal.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
I'd love it. Norman, are you coming? I don't remember. All right, you guys. I think we're good for the day. We did make up for the little bit of time we lost at the beginning.
Here's a good question.
Yes.
I would say if you're planning on hiring staff, it'd be good to buy a license or two.
Yeah, I mean, bite the bullet now. And I mean, you could even do the rental now for $200 a month. And then if you change your mind, 6 months from now, you just get rid of it. You're out, that many months of payments. But at the end of that rental period, then you will own it, and then you'll be on the SSA like they have it now.
So I'm curious. I have an approach for this that I think should be fine, which is I contract with subcontractors, and they are in my envelope. I am, hiring them as an employee almost, but it's a subcontract basis. So if I have another license, they should be able to use my license so long as they're working on my project.
Sure.
So as long as they have to get it from your digital locker,
Yeah, they'd have to get it from my digital locker, which, might be a reason to make more of an ambiguous email for your company domain email that's registered with Chief.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Because you will have those additional licenses in your same digital locker.
Yeah. Right. So any contractor I might want to freelance with should be able to use my additional license for the purpose of working on my projects.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't see there'd be a problem with that.
Yep.
Hint, now, if you tried to sell it to someone.
Hint.
Hey, you can't sell it to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you can't sell it. No. So, but cool. All right, anybody, if you got questions, if you're interested in the summit, feel free to give me a call or drop me an email.
Mike,
I'd be happy to talk to you.
Mike's got some, he needs to explain his comments here. He says, if Renee's an alien, then Dan's from Atlantis. And then a little bit later, he said, John's a 21st century Viking. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, you're going to have to unpack that one next time.
Well, you're the nomad. You're out roaming the country. Okay.
Yeah, out there exploring. Okay, I get it now.
I guess nomad's not the right term, but because you're doing it with your wife. So the Viking team out exploring the world. So very cool.
Yeah. Everybody in the show, go get some water. Go stretch for a minute. Don't end up in back problems. I'm fighting it.
Yeah, go make some money. Make 23 your best year ever. Yeah. So, all right, guys. See you next time. This is Dan and Renee and John signing off. See you guys.
See ya.